Hello guys, how we doing? Welcome back to the Free Ammons. It's Luke here. And there is some news, some bad news and some potentially really good news that hopefully will get announced later today. And I'll be back with a video either later today or later in the week, depending on how things move on. We'll start with the bad news so that we can end on some good news. Obviously, Aguerd, we know he went down. It didn't look good in the Rangers game. And obviously now the club have come out and made a statement to confirm that he has had an operation on his ankle. And there's conflicting outlets that are saying 1 month, 2 months, anything up to 3 months. By all accounts now, that will keep him out for a little while. We obviously will definitely probably miss the first 5-6 games of the season, maybe well into about October time before we see him, which is unfortunate. But this was a big signing, a big money signing, and it looked like it was going to be Zuma and him going forward in defence. I'm not against Ogbonna and Zuma, I'll be honest with you. They played really, really well together and we had a fantastic record with them when they did have their games together. By all accounts, there are rumours now that we are back in for a centre-back. Looks like Diop has sort of, potentially thrown his toys out the pram a little bit. And it looked like a move to Fulham was agreed. And then obviously Moyes has pulled the plug because of the Aguerd situation. So it looks like he will go, Diop, and there's a few players that have been linked. We know about Milinkovic. We were close to him last year from Fiorentina. I would like him to come in, and if he was to play three at the back, what a three at the back that could potentially be of Zuma, Aguerd and Milinkovic. The reason I would like him out of all the names that have been linked, there are some other names in there that I can't remember off the top of my head, is if Kostic was to come in, that's another Serb. And it gives him that relationship that we've got with Souček and Soufal. So, for me, if we are looking to bring another centre back in, I think Milinkovic is the one to go for. I do believe he's only got a year left on his contract as well. So, yeah, but there are other centre backs out there. We'll see what happens, but I do expect another centre back to come in now because Diop will probably go. On the good news, you would have seen it, guys. He has landed. He took off yesterday and he landed. He was signing some West Ham programs and stuff. People were at the airport, and he did sign them. And he was a bit coy when asked about what you're doing over here and stuff like that. It's clear that he's come over. Everything's been agreed in terms of fees and personal terms. I believe there's only a couple of little silly details. Listen, when a player gets on a plane and comes over, you know that it's very, very close. You would expect the medical to be done, hopefully this morning around 12 o'clock or maybe this afternoon. And hopefully we get an announcement sort of mid-afternoon today or, later this evening. And as I put in my video the other day, finally, West Ham will have an actual striker at the football team. Not a converted winger, not a square peg in a round hole. We will actually have a striker, and by all accounts, guys, a striker that comes with a massive reputation and massive potential. PSG were looking at him, Arsenal were looking at him, and you only have to read on Twitter. I know it can be a bit of a toxic place, but you can get an idea of how good a player is by how jealous and how reactive other fans are. Teams like Everton and teams like Newcastle fans, I see them on Twitter going, "Oh, West Ham really signing Scamacca? This is unbelievable." And even Arsenal fans, although they've signed Jesus, who is a fantastic player, they're also a little bit rattled by it as well. Listen, let's hope he hits the ground running. We give him time. You have to give players time. But we've got to hope. We're due one to click. We've had a lot of strikers. I believe when it's something like 40, 50 names since Sullivan and Gold have come in of strikers. We're due one. We're due one that's going to do something for us. He seems to have everything that suits David Moyes' mould. He's big. He's strong. He works hard. He's got a good touch. And if anything, it will relieve the pressure off Antonio. I've been, Antonio's biggest critic for a long, long time. That he just hasn't got it. He's not good enough on one-on-ones. Last season, it was like he's protecting himself through injuries rather than playing full out. And, maybe putting him behind him, with, the big ideas that people keep having when you look at formations for next year is him playing on the left-hand side, Bowen on the right. which would be good. Or you bring Antonio off the bench and you've got an absolute powerhouse to bring on, like I've always said with Traore and people like that. If you have that fear factor on the bench, you imagine Antonio running at you, for 20, 25 minutes, a tired defence. It gives us that dynamic, and that's something different that we've been really, really expecting. But like I say, let's hope Scamacca is done. It's looking very, 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 very positive. But we know that medicals before has brought things up. And maybe David Sullivan is actually sitting there now going, oh dear, I've actually got to go and spend this money. It looks like we're still very, very active though. It looks like we're busy. Like I say, hopefully Kostic does come in as well. Again, we've got to convince him, is it Premier League and a running Europa League conference, probably a big pay rise as well. Or is he going to play Champions League with, Frankfurt? Is he realistic going to win the Champions League with Frankfurt? No. But he, that Champions League carrot is a big one. But the Premier League is also a massive one as well, to come and play in the Premier League. So we'll see. I think there's a good chance. Same agent as Scamacca. If Scamacca was to sign, his agent would put his full focus into Kostic. So it's interesting, and I hope he does come. I was very impressed with him in the Europa League. I watched the game against Barcelona where he scored that absolute worldie. He was very, very good against us as well, and he would suit our team. He reminds me a bit of Trevor Sinclair a little bit, who was one of my favourite players of the past. So I hope that happens. On Nana, there's a slight update on that. There's still a bid sitting there. Who knows? And there are, sources out there saying I'll be very surprised if he's not at West Ham. So again, we have to wait and see. Dwight McNeil's name keeps coming up as well. Yeah, there's a lot of names. There's a lot of irons in the fire, should I say. Brozier as well. I can see if he doesn't go to a club like Everton or Newcastle, who are linked, I can see him maybe coming to us on loan. But again, Chelsea are in a bit of disarray at the moment in terms of being able to get some players through the door. Koundé, it doesn't look like he's going to go there now. So, yeah, it's interesting. It's very, very interesting. But listen, it looks good. The bids are in. Hopefully one comes in today with Scamacca. We just got to get a few more in. A few more. At least 4. Let me know what you think, but I think at least 4. And that would be, your left winger in Kostic. Probably, your CDM and Onana, if it is to be Onana. A left back as well, potentially. We're also in for Zelensky as well from Napoli, but by all accounts he wants to go to Lazio. Apparently Newman really, really wants him and is keen on the deal. So it'd be interesting to see what happens. Listen, just because the season starts next weekend, not this weekend, next weekend, the transfer window isn't open. Ideally, you would have your players ready and they would have done a pre-season, they'd be ready to go. But that transfer window is still open for a very, very long time. And I think we are going to be very busy and very active. I don't think Diop will be the only out as well. It wouldn't surprise me if Masuaku goes as well. But yeah, remains to be seen, guys. Thank you for staying loyal, guys. I believe we're only 160 away now from 4K. So please get us out there. Please, tweet it, retweet it. And if you made it to the end of the video, guys, let's put it in there. Hashtag a striker has finally arrived. Keep believing. Let's go.